the Islamic Service, Vice Lords.
The Vice Lords are a street gang in Chicago.
They're engaged in extortion, they're engaged in murder for hire, robberies, burglaries, auto theft, literally all kinds of criminal enterprises.
In addition to the Vice Lords, Tyson thanked another gang, the Folks, who along with the Bloods, Crips, and People Nation comprise the four major alliances of street gangs in America.
In the 90s, gangs are probably the dominant form of alternative lifestyle that young people have going for them.
Gangs and sports were once very separate worlds. Now the line between the two is often hard to find.
Even in the NFL or NBA or whatnot, you know what I'm saying, various sports, you still could go back home and still be a gang member.
Chris Mims has ties to the Bloods. In the past, when signing autographs, Mims crossed out the letter C in his first name because C stands for Crips. Dion Figures has a connection to the Crips. Crips dress in blue, Bloods dress in red.
I always wore blue. To this day, I wear blue. I don't own an ounce of red.
There are white gangs, black gangs, female gangs, Latino gangs, gangs of every ethnic and racial composition. In the cities, yes, but increasingly in the suburbs.
The same dynamics that are in sports are also in the street gangs. Identity, recognition, belonging, discipline, love, and respect. Of course, the street gangs are a lot more dangerous.
Impossible to separate. They have now squared off. Gangs and sports in a turf war.
Gangs are everywhere in America. They're in business. They're in law enforcement, in the military, in entertainment, and they're in sports. Experts say there are over 20,000 separate gangs, and the estimates of membership range from 250,000 to well over 1 million. So it's impossible for us tonight to state an exact number of how many athletes belong to gangs. But gangs are part of American life, and as Shelley Smith tells us, they are at the highest levels of American sports.
Here's Dan, takes the snap.
Charles Jordan plays for the Miami Dolphins.
Charles Jordan!
He also says he is affiliated with a street gang.
I didn't care if I died in the streets. You know, I didn't care if I ended up in jail for the rest of my life. I just wanted to live and die in that neighborhood.
Here's a little counter run by Holmes.
Derek Holmes plays for the Buffalo Bills. He, too, says he has ties to a gang.
How old were you when you first got a gun?
Ooh, probably about 13.
So you're 13?
About 13.
I was 11. 11 years. I was just really getting out of elementary.
Jordan and Holmes both grew up in Southern California, and both say they are among dozens of professional athletes who have maintained, at some level, ties to their gang. Jordan grew up as part of the family Swans, a specific Bloods gang in Los Angeles.
Do you still consider yourself as part of the Swans now?
I mean, that's for life. I mean, I always feel like I'm going to be labeled as one, no matter where I am and no matter where I be. I might not be active, you know, but I still consider myself as one.
How many guys do you know in the NFL now who have some sort of gang affiliation?
Well, I'm not going to say I know guys that have gang affiliation, but I have no guys that grew up, like I grew up in Pasadena and associated with Bloods. I know some guys that grew up in Compton, grew up in Long Beach, grew up, you know, in various areas that are associated with Crips or Blood gangs.
Active versus inactive. Gang member versus gang affiliate or gang associate. Experts say there are many different levels of gang involvement. A hardcore gangbanger is a soldier who would kill for his gang. A gang associate or a gang affiliate shows his support for his gang by selling drugs, scrawling graffiti, getting into fistfights. Some are in gangs only because of where they live or go to school. How many times do you think you've shot at people?
That I've shot at people?
Sonika Shakur is a gang expert.
I don't know how many times I've shot at people.
While in prison, Shakur wrote a book about life as a hardcore ganger. He was released from jail in August.
No one is suggesting that these professional athletes are participating in drive-by shootings. However, there is concern that some athletes are participating in gang-related activities.
In August, Port Trailblazer Stacey Augmon was handcuffed and taken into custody when a gang fight broke out in his Pasadena home. Sources say Augmon has ties to the Damu Riders, a Bloods car group in Los Angeles. He is referred to as a gang member in a civil lawsuit that alleges he threatened physical harm against a woman. She says she has seen Augmon throw gang signs, quote, to demonstrate his violent propensities. Derek Holmes would talk about his relationship with gangs. The Bills running back, whose brother is on death row in California for a trio of gang-related killings, says that when he was in college, he received financial support from his blood set, the Pasadena-Denver Lanes.
I was at Portland State, and, you know, up there, you know, not having too much money, Division II school, small school, and They just wanted me to do good. They told me stay up there, you know what I'm saying, keep your head up. And so anytime I needed like a couple of hundred here or there, just call my boys, you know, and they sent it to me.
The bond works both ways. Jordan spent nearly a year in county jail as an 18-year-old, wrongly accused of murder. Jordan says he took the rap rather than give up the real killer, a fellow gang member.
Do you think you did the right thing?
Yes. I never doubt or question what I did. I would probably do the same thing again.
As a pro, Jordan continued to show loyalty to his gangs by, at times, giving members money.
I don't even, once I give it to them, it's theirs. You know, I don't really ask what it's about. You know, I just try not to get myself labeled with, okay, well, since you gave him the money, you contribute to him buying the drugs, so you're a conspiracy to this or that. You know, I don't try to concern myself with that. I just, once I hand it to him, I hand it to him. I ain't gonna go write you no check. You know what I mean? Then that way, if you go cash that check and do something, then it can come back to me. But now if I give you cash, whatever you do with it, that's on